What's going on, guys? Nico with Eurostash Garage, and today we got a maintenance video. A maintenance and repair, basically. So today we're working on the Audi A6 3.0 TFSI, and we're trying to riddle the oil leak that I'm having right now. And it's not like bad to where it pulls under the car, but all of my cross member, see if I can get that to focus. The cross member, all that, even the axles are covered in black oil, so we don't really know where it's coming from. And today we're gonna try to see if we can diagnose it and figure out if we can fix it. Alrighty, guys. So to start off today's video, we're gonna start with the oil change, and we're gonna start with extracting the oil. So I'm gonna pop off the little dipstick cover. We're gonna slide in our oil tube. I'm gonna slide it all the way down. Don't slide it too fast or too hard. You don't want to damage anything in there. Just till you get to hit the bottom. Make sure it's the bottom.
You'll feel when it's the bottom of.
And then you start pumping, and you'll start to see the oil extract out the vehicle and go through the tube and into the reservoir. So I'm gonna go ahead and pump this for a minute. You don't have to pump it the entire time. It's just to get the pressure built, and then it just pulls. It's like hyphens itself out.
Yeah, siphons.
So we'll tap back in once all this oil is drained out. Alrighty, guys, so while this is extracting the oil out of the car, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the oil that I'm using, the reason I'm using it. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys the insight on the FCP Euro lifetime warranty. So the oil that I'm using in this application is the Liqui-Moly 5W40 Moly Gem. This is the one that is, you can see it with the UV light. So if you have a problem like me and you're looking for a leak, this can help you. It can show you where the leak's coming from, and we're gonna give it a shot today.
Yep, so we got a UV light in there.
So we have a total of 7 quarts. We've got a man filter that we're gonna be installing. We have the UV light for the Liqui-Moly. We got Liqui-Moly motor oil saver that we're gonna add to the oil to keep it just to help with oil consumption and whatnot. And then we have some fuel injector cleaner, which is their Liqui-Moly Jectron, which we're gonna put in the gas tank. And they also send, which is awesome of them, a drain plug and the crush washer for it. But I'm not going to be getting under the car in this application and draining it out. I'm just going to be doing it with the extractor. So, but everything besides these 4 items come with the FCP, like in this box. And what you do is you extract your oil, swap out your oil, put the new oil in, and you put your old oil in these containers, your old filter in this container, and you send it all back to the original shipping label that it gives you, and all you have to do is pay shipping. Once they get it and they process everything, they'll give you a refund on the original price of the product. So this was like $75, $80. They're gonna give me that $80 refund, and I only out of pocket spend maybe $20 to ship it back to them. So it's essentially a way cheaper way to do oil changes. You guys should definitely give it a shot, and shout out to FCP Euro.
Shout out to them for real, because oil changes are not cheap.
Yeah, especially on European vehicles. You know that oil changes can be costly.
Yeah.
Especially doing them, you know, most like 3,000 miles or.
So we're just, she's filling it up.
So I'm currently at 4,800 miles on this oil change. I've went to Miami and back on this oil change, and I've taken a couple shorter trips on this oil change, so it's definitely had its cycle.
We just took the trip to Lafayette for Cars and Coffee.
Yeah, it took a little trip to Lafayette, so it's definitely has its time to be swapped out, and we're gonna try to figure out if we can fix that oil leak, or at least figure out where it's coming from. And off camera, I went ahead and cleaned up all like the bottom of the intake or the valve covers, and kind of like that general area. So we'll be able to go in with the UV light and really inspect it and see
where it's coming from.
Yeah.
So
once this is fully extracted, we'll get back in with you guys. Alright guys, so if you guys can come a little bit closer, you can kind of tell when you're getting to the end of the oil because it makes like that
like a straw.
Yeah, when you're drinking out of a straw out of an empty cup. So I kind of just move it around just to get the last bits of oil. You don't want to push too hard like I said earlier because you will damage something. You just kind of want to float it around in there and get the rest of the oil. But once you hear that noise, that is a sign that you're towards the end of your oil. And if you come down to the canister, we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 quarts.
Yep.
So give her a pump.
When I did mine last time, it had maybe a quart left in it.
Shit.
Like it filled up one thing.
That's crazy. Alright guys, so while this is fully extracting the rest of what's left in the car, I'm going to go ahead and pop off this oil filter. So I have just some shop towels to kind of protect the general area because this will drip some oil. Got it unthreaded. And we're just going to go. I already have the box empty, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go directly into this napkin to try to soak it up, and then I'm going to put the filter in this bag and then put it back in the box. Get it ready for shipment. Oh, filter came off. There we go. Made a little bit of a mess. I'm glad we had napkins there though.
Yep, that's what it's for.
Alright. A little bit of a mess, guys, but nothing too bad. So I'm going to go ahead and let this soak up in the oil pan. And then once it soaks up, just pretty much the rest of the oil that's just dripping, I'll put it back in that black bag and then put it in the box.
Alright guys, so we're trying to take off, or he got the O-ring off of the oil filter.
Drop that down on the trash. We're going to pop open the new one. Just sitting over here next to the new man filter. We need a little bit of all the oil
to lubricate it.
Should have some in here. Go ahead and lube her on up. Alrighty. You wanna hold that flashlight for me? Got it all lubed up. Now just installing it. There she goes. Clips in place. Just run your finger around it just to make sure it's in there. And we're golden. O-ring installed. And there's also an O-ring in the oil filter cap. Clean that off real quick. As you guys can see, they have a little tab right there. And you pull that tab up and it pulls that O-ring out. I'm gonna go ahead and clean this oil filter housing and swap out that O-ring.
He's gonna put the other one in with the tab facing up.
Yeah, you want to keep that tab facing up so you can grasp it the next time you change your oil. I forgot to clean this out. I don't really have much oil. I'm gonna go back over here to the oil filter to get some more oil. Oh. Alright guys, so I'm here at the oil pan with the old oil filter, just lubing up this O-ring. And as you guys can tell, man, the shop is a European mess. And the reason it looks so crazy is because we're trying to get all these vehicles. We got this A4 getting ready. We got the Mark II next door getting the engine bay all smoothed out.
We got the two up there.
We're getting all these cars ready to go to Alpine Bulks Fair. So that's why the shop looks the way it does. It's a mess in here. We have two Audi TT engines. Turbos everywhere.
Like another
Let me see the light.
nice engine. Here's the light.
Just slide her on down in there. And then make sure she's sat in there good. So that's fully in there, as you guys can tell. And the tab is up, so next time you guys go to change it, you can take some needle nose pliers, grab it on that little tab, and pull the whole filter out. So now we're gonna go install the new filter.
We're gonna put the new filter.
Go ahead and slide it on in there. And snap it in. Kind of hard, you guys want to hear that snap. That's key, remember that, you want to hear the snap. We're gonna go ahead and, you want to thread it on there by hand, obviously. You don't want to mess up the thread on either your oil filter cap or your housing, because the caps are pretty easy to replace, but the housing would be a pain. So alright guys, so I got it fully threaded on there by hand, and then we're going to go ahead and torque it down just a tad. You do not want to torque it down too hard. You do not want to break anything. Give it a little torque. That's it. That's all I'm going to give her. That's tight enough to keep her on. And now we're going to go ahead and add the new oil. And as you guys can see, the bottom is empty, but I just started pumping and some more oil came out the top. And there is a lot of controversy on these extractors, and do they really get all the oil out? And stay tuned for the next episode for the 85 oil change. We're going to test it and see if it's true. We're going to see if the extractor fully gets all the oil out. I really don't know. I've seen videos where they favor both sides, so we're going to really give it a shot and see how it goes. But that should be all the oil, so we're going to pull our
extractor out.
I'm just going to go directly onto a napkin and then directly back into the little handle. Alrighty guys, so we have the new oil filter installed as well as the O-rings. All the oil has been extracted. So now what I'm doing is I'm adding in my motor oil saver, and I'm going to be adding in 1.5 cans. So I already have this full can pretty much drained out. I'm going to go ahead and add in about half of this can. So, like I said, half a can. It's about half a can right there. And then I'll just close this up with the cap, and I can put this away for later use or for the next time. Oil change. So, now we're going to go ahead and add in our oil, and it comes with 7 liters from FCP Euro. Yeah, 7 liters. So it comes with the big 5 liter and then 2 1 liters down there, and we're going to use all of this, all of that one, and majority of this one. So I'm going to go ahead and add the big one in right now. Alrighty guys, so we're going to add in our liquid moly oil now. And like I said, we're going to add all of the 5.28 quarts or the 5 liters. And as you guys can see, it's got this weird green tint to it. It's a very crazy, like, toxic hue. But I guess that's just having to do with the dye that they use with the for the UV light.
Yeah.
Go ahead and cut it. Alrighty guys, so I'm adding in my last quart or 1 liter of liquid moly, and this one I'm just gonna add until the last. So we're going to want to even it out with the second tick. So you're going to go from here all the way down to here. So I'm going to go ahead and alrighty guys, that should be good right there. And now the oil is filled. We got the oil additives in there, and everything is ready to be started up. We're going to drive it around for some miles and get it warm, get it hot, and see if we can find out where that leak's coming from.
Yep.
So we'll catch it back with you guys in a minute. Alright guys, so now we're here at the gas tank area. We're gonna put in the liquid moly ejectron. So it comes with this cool little twist top, in which you just twist it. Pull the little pull tab, and then you can install the little funnel that they provide on the bottom. Get it tight, open up that gas tank, and this is safe on turbocharged and supercharged vehicles. And I'm pretty sure it's only for gas vehicles though. It might be good for diesel, but I'm pretty sure it's just for gasoline.
I think they have different ones for diesel.
Yeah. So, but if you're turbocharged or supercharged, you are good. It's like water, so it just pours in super quick. And that's it.
Now we're gonna take her on a drive and get the oil flowing through her. So we find her leak.
Alrighty guys, so we got the fresh oil in from FCP Euro, everything extracted. Everything's back in the original box, which is just all the oil, which was somehow able to fit in the 5-quart container. I got my oil filter in here that I let drip off in the oil pan, and I just put it in a bag. And that's it. Everything else was used. So I'm going to be sending this back to FCP Euro, and then once they process everything, they'll send me a refund. Out of pocket, I'll only spend 15, 20 bucks on this oil change. So can't beat it, man. Shout out to FCP Euro again.
Yep. And till